Yes.
Like Buzz Lightyear used to say on Toy Story, and Woody would argue, you're not flying, you're falling with style.
That's right.
That's fucking spot on. Wow. All right, we'll take that. Here we go. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show, My Happiness, where we're all about putting the me and happiness. And today we got a pretty special episode for you guys. I don't even know where to begin, but we'll start. I got some friends here. Haley Tishanaki. I feel so bad because I don't know your name.
You still don't know?
No, I don't.
Tashnik,
there
Very
it is.
easy, Matt.
And then we have Anthony Berman, but I like to say Beer Man.
It is Beer Man.
Hola, present.
It sounds way better when you say Beer Man. But yeah, okay, so today we're pretty much just talking about, trying new things and really immersing into that and seeing how much fucking fun you can have when you try new things. And specifically today is going to be talking about skydiving. So we are all skydivers here, minus Christina, which I'm sure she will be soon enough.
I don't think so.
By the end of this podcast,
it's going to happen.
we will convince you. Yeah.
Whether you want it to or not.
Yeah.
We're bigger than you.
It's bound to happen. It's on the podcast, so
We're
you have
friends
to.
with the instructors, so
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
we got you hooked up.
Well, thank you for helping me do something I don't want to do.
All right, so yeah, we're just gonna. I don't even know where to start with everybody or anything, but I guess just maybe start with. Yeah, Anthony here, I guess. So
okay.
Yeah, maybe just talk about maybe how. Just pretty much how to get into skydiving, because we'll specifically talk about skydiving on this episode, but just the whole basis is just trying something new, having fun, and yeah. But if anybody does want to know how to skydive, how do you get into it? Where do you go? How much is it? What you got for me?
All right. So, how I got into skydiving, I made a tandem jump a couple of years back, and I was like, wow, this is really awesome. I love this. I would love to learn how to do this on my own. I was a broke college student, so that wasn't going to happen anytime soon. A couple years later, you and I were talking about being in a life rut and wanting to try something that brings us happiness again.
Fuck those life ruts.
Right?
Preach.
So what Matt and I did, because we weren't sure exactly where to start, kind of like everybody else. So, I mean, you're jumping out of a plane, super dangerous, right? You kind of don't want to look for a Groupon and be like, hey, teach me how to skydive. This is your life you're talking
Pretty sketchy,
about.
shady.
Yeah. So we started searching around, where is a good place to learn? But that's not going to absolutely kill our bank account.
I'd still kill our bank account. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I used to have a bank account, then I found skydiving.
Now he has a credit card.
Skydive Arizona.
Yeah.
Eloy.
I literally work just to pay their utility bills. So, yeah, we started driving around, me, you, and Christina. And
I was there. This is the only part that I was in.
I knew of
you were
one
there.
drop zone, Skydive Phoenix. That was the place I did my very first tandem. It was a very small, pretty cool little drop zone.
Yeah.
I heard a lot about Skydive Arizona. Didn't know a whole lot about it at the time. Never had been there. And then you and I went to Skydive Buckeye, yeah. Drove out there. They were actually closed for the day. It was a pretty cool little airport, though. There was a nice gentleman that kind of gave us some information on how to contact everybody. But our day was just started. It was super early, so we're like, let's go check out Skydive Arizona.
You drove to all three of them?
We drove to two of them, but we drove past the other one out in Maricopa. Oops, sorry. And then checked out Skydive Arizona.
It was so much better. Just kind of as soon as you get there, I just feel just the whole atmosphere and vibe was just
it's like its own little town.
Yeah, exactly.
It's own
little
community.
Town. You can sleep there, you can eat there, you can jump there. You have everything there.
Yeah, restaurants,
Workout.
They even have a
Workout,
massage
gym,
parlor
There's a pool.
Yeah, that pool.
Yeah, the pool.
Do some yoga.
It's literally the world's largest drop zone.
Yeah, it
Which
is.
is pretty fucking cool. Yeah.
Which
It
that
doesn't even look that big though, like which is crazy. Like
No, I
it's-
know. I
It's
thought it-
that
large.
big.
It has
Yeah.
everything, but I can't imagine seeing a drop zone that
I know.
didn't have these amenities. in
I
it.
thought it was going to be way bigger. Like I just didn't understand what drop zone really meant, I guess. And it was like, oh, okay, just a field of grass, or maybe like is it the whole area of everything? I don't know, but it's nice. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it literally me and Matt have met friends from like all over the country, all over the world that literally come out for weeks, months at a time and do not leave the area because you seriously don't need to leave at all.
Yeah, that's like the only thing you do in Eloy is either you go skydive or you go to the prison. you're in the prison or jump.
Pretty much.
They've got a Dollar General and a liquor store, so
Yeah.
you really don't need anything else.
Yeah. So yeah, we really love Skydive Arizona. So we just it was kind of like spur of the moment. Like we go in there, we're talking to everybody, and then like out of nowhere, it was just kind of like, all right, fuck, I guess we're gonna sign up for this, and we just picked a day and signed up, and
we did
up
one more tandem jump because
Yeah.
my buddy Joey, good for him, he beat cancer, and we're like, hey, we're gonna celebrate his life, and he fought for his life. Now he wants to enjoy it, so.
Yeah.
Me, you, Joey signed up for a tandem jump the following week.
Yeah.
Jumped.
Because you have to do that
courses.
first before you can take your schooling.
And you had done done a tandem prior, but
Yeah, mine was like 8 years
Has to go
ago.
within a year.
Yeah.
Mine was 8 years ago or something.
So for those of you that are non-skydivers, to start, pretty much find a drop zone that you want to learn from. We highly recommend if you're in the Arizona area, go check out Skydive Arizona. It's the world's largest drop zone, like Matt had stated earlier. With that being said, the people, the staff members, all the instructors there are top notch. They really know their stuff.
Yeah.
They take their job seriously, but it's not so serious that you don't have a good time. Like you literally are having a great time, and they minimize the risk for you, and they really teach you everything that you honestly need to know about skydiving.
Yeah.
And they will not let you slide by with anything and be like, okay,
No.
you're on to the next phase. Matt,
Matt?
Yeah.
Matt can tell you about his fail jump later.
Oh, damn it, dude. If it's on the podcast, it means it really happened. It's fucking real. Damn it.
I didn't even get a fail jump.
You're not done yet. You still got 10 more to
All
go.
my passes-
But
pass and fail are done.
yeah, you pay $3,600 is pretty much what it comes out to get pay for all the licensing fees and your USPA, United States Parachute Association's membership.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, that's just for you being able to jump independently,
Correct.
not
Just to get
for
to your A
having
license.
another person with you. It's
Yeah.
just for you yourself.
Exactly. If you want to do a tandem jump, it's like $160 to $170. I'm not sure what tandems go for these days.
Yeah.
And you can do that without any license. You just do that as much as you want.
You and your friends, if you were like, hey, I want to check this out. Well,
Anthony
get together and go.
Anthony was the king of tandem jumps. Like everybody at the drop zone, what they like say that I don't know how many, like 11 or something like that.
So we thought it was 11. We actually counted it out. It was 1 at Skydive Phoenix and then 7 at Skydive Arizona. The reason being, people, I loved flying and I couldn't afford it. So
Yeah.
I could afford a couple $100 here and there, but not $3,600 at once.
Yeah, until you met me.
Yes, exactly.
Until we went.
And then he just happened to find the money.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Well,
was like, yeah, it's just stashed underneath my bed or something.
I started saving up and actually sold some stuff from one hobby and took that money, transferred it into another hobby.
Yeah, it's kind of what I did too, ish.
Yeah, pretty much like
Hobby money stays hobby money.
No, not
Exactly.
at all. You had yours paid for.
I know. We had this talk a while ago.
It's on the podcast. It has
Damn
to be real.
Yeah.
I told Anthony about it. I was like, yeah, so Christina and I had, the talk. And he knew exactly what I
I
was
was like,
talking
oh shit,
about.
did you come up with a name yet? And he goes, no, not that talk.
Yeah. The hobby talk. It was like, as I sold my dirt bike and I was like, oh, I have, $5,000. It's like, oh, this is just the perfect amount of money I need to buy a new skydiving rig. So Christina, does this sound good? We should probably do this, right? And we had a very, very long talk about that.
He's gonna buy a truck.
I have a lot of things to get, but that's definitely.
It's just funny that your logic is like, oh, I have 5,000, like, and I'm an adult
Well, I
in my
do.
late 20s, I'm just going to spend it on the thing I want to do. It's like, okay, well,
Sounds like someone
bills
else,
or
actually.
Matt, you are not alone, my friend.
Thank you. I know.
There are plenty of
Yeah.
us out there like that.
I know.
Stay strong, brother.
Yeah.
But yeah,
P.S.,
so
what are you guys doing this Saturday? You guys,
I didn't hear that.
Exactly. Perfect.
Perfect. So pay the $3,600, sign up. You go through an 8-hour, what's called ground school class. They teach you the fundamentals of how a parachute rig works, how a parachute itself works, different altitudes, what your responsibility is at each altitude, and kind of what to expect in the course and all of your emergency procedures, which I'm sure Matt is going to be more than happy to bring up.
Oh, we're going to dive into that
about
that
later.
Yeah. What'd you feel about the school? Did you think it was good? Like after the ground school?
Honestly, bro, after the ground school, I was so pumped. I was like, hell yes, I got this. Like, we've read everything. Me and Matt went through the book several times. And
we
Haley's
studied
nodding her
like
head no.
crazy.
Yeah.
We were like, I think we're the only people who were like I don't know, maybe overdoing it.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
overstudying.
for sure.
See, and that's funny.
I was
too,
so
because
nervous.
You guys did all that, and I mean, I went through the class, and then that night I wanted to go through the book, and everyone was all like, "Let's go to the bar," and I'm like, "Cool." So I'm not gonna go through the book again. And I didn't.
To be fair, Haley,
I got one go through the book, and I was like, "Fuck this."
I'm ready. Put me in.
to be fair,
Put me in,
the
coach.
last time me and Matt went through the book was at the bar, where we met
That's true,
our
yeah.
friend Kyle.
Yeah. Who was like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, oh yeah, maybe we're just studying for the exam tomorrow. That's like, yeah.
He's like noobs.
Yeah, exactly. But we became friends.
Me, Matt, and our class went through the wind tunnel, which you do at the end of your ground schooling, and that kind of it's a simulator. It's a 14-foot wide cylinder that has like a crazy amount of air getting shoved through it, and it will suspend you in the air to teach you how to position your body and manipulate the air for forwards, backwards movements, and all this other crazy stuff. Yeah.
It's a weird feeling.
It's really weird. I definitely felt so like after the actual ground school, I still had a lot of questions. It was like, you know, hey, how do you do your landing pattern? How do you do this? How do you do that? And then and then the wind tunnel was really nice because that just really got like all those first jitters out of your way. Like, okay, you jump out of a plane and you're supposed to arch, but it's like, well, you got to arch properly, put your hands and feet in the right area. So the wind tunnel was nice.
People, do not listen to Matt. I was so discouraged out of the wind tunnel.
That's right, yeah.
I was just garbage in there. And then we come out and
Still is.
our instructor, Roberto, was like, all right, so we jump tomorrow. And we all look at each other like, oh, he means we're all dying tomorrow. Matt was like,
There's a lot
I'm
of
so
questions
pumped.
still.
And I was like, okay, well, don't mind me. I'm just going to have nightmares all night. And get no sleep.
And then how many jumps do you guys do before you graduate or get your
25.
license? 25.
25
yeah.
jumps.
And you do your air tunnel before you jump for the first time.
The
Yep.
same day as ground school, so you don't jump. You don't make your first jump till the next day.
Oh,
or
okay.
after
So
a
ground
full
school
day.
is just like your book work.
Yeah, 8
Yes.
hours of in classroom work, 10 minutes in the tunnel. Once you feel real nice and discouraged, and they tell you
God,
tomorrow
I
we
love
jump.
it, tunnel.
Yeah, so Haley was amazing
You
in the
guys are
tunnel.
crazy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
some people suck, some people are just really good. And
it sounds-
Haley was
That's the only reason I signed up is because of that stupid tunnel.
People
Yeah.
legitimately, while we're watching Haley, we're like, wow, she's really good. Like, how much time does she have in the wind tunnel? And we're like, oh, it's our first time. They're like, bullshit. I was like, yeah, I wish I was lying because she's literally already working on stuff that's taken me 3 sessions to get to.
Yeah, when I went after my ground school day, the coach, I didn't have the same coach, but I had David French. He ran the whole thing.
yeah, that guy.
He was all like, he's like, you're going to do this with her, you're going to do this with her, you're going to do that with her. She already wears this suit, like, just do that. And I was like, okay, let's do it. It was fun. It wasn't as good, but I was still excited.
yeah, it
The
was really
boys were all butthurt because I had a class of boys and just me.
Yeah, Haley, you fucking killed it. That was pretty cool. So after that, you then you get to jump and you do your you get your 25 jumps, and then so you have an instructor with you the entire time. I know there's like maybe one or two
there's
jumps or
I've
4.
already had 4 solos, and I feel like I'm gonna
Wow.
have some more. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
you
think
got a
they're
lot
just
more than
trying
us.
to run me through it, dude.
To
Probably 'cause you
be
know
fair
more.
though, the rest of her class, like I don't know them, but
Yeah.
Haley came in after her first jump, and they're like, all right, Haley, you did great, you
They
passed.
kept throwing me.
And I
Like,
think like 3 other guys
Oh,
came
yeah, yeah.
down, and they're like, just sitting there with their heads down, and Haley was talking to them. They're like, yeah, I failed. And they're like, oh, me too. And this other
Oh,
guy just
really?
walked and he goes, dude, I just failed my jump. And it was their first one.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that had to been like super discouraging for them. And you know, Haley with her big head, she's like, yeah, I'm kind of
This
shit.
is not true.
Haley does not have a big head.
Thank
So, and what are some of the common things that make you fail, just for people
Oh,
to
Matt,
Matt,
how
Matt,
did you
Matt,
fail yours?
Matt.
Me, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I think it was what is it? Maybe like.
Well, it doesn't matter. Let's.
Four,
No. It had to have been like 4 because it was
yeah,
still a
It
touch.
was-
3 or 4, dude.
Yeah, it
because
was
it
like
was
the
just your
third-
touches.
Yeah, third or fourth jumps, like I'm falling, and during like each progression, this one was I needed to like you just arch, you just falling.
The audience does not know what a progression is, so you have to explain that stuff.
They just like start you off like just kind of falling, someone holding on to you. So like just each jump, they kind of add something new that you do.
It's a new obstacle.
Yeah, just a new obstacle, whether it be like pulling, doing a 360 left, a 360 right, a front flip, back flip, barrel. Like there's just so many different things that they will teach you each on each jump that you do. And my jump that I had, all I had to do was just fall.
Literally just
All I had to do was just
touch
fucking
the
fall.
pilot chute.
I know. All I had to do was like reach, and they make you do like 3 practice touches.
And what he's touching is his actual pilot chute.
Yeah, that's the thing you pull.
That you have to pull to deploy your main canopy.
Yeah.
They're not just like touching it. Like, they want you to grab it because this is the
Yeah.
thing that is throwing your canopy and going to save your life.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
During
not
his
just you're
free-
touching to touching.
Kind of a
It's
big
it's
deal.
to, you know, simulate, okay, this is my
Yes.
movement would be when I'm ready to pull my
Exactly,
parachute.
yeah.
If you rush it, if you don't do it right, your body tilts, your body turns. So,
So-
if you go spinning, you're
Yeah, exactly. So
Right,
that's what
because
happened to me.
slight movements can really change just how you
Yes.
move.
Yes. Because, yeah, like normally in the wind tunnel, I was doing it fine. But then for some reason in the air, I started to like, whatever I was doing, I think my hand was more down. So it made me spin. So when I went to go practice, I started to spin. And not that I freaked out, but it was just like, oh shit. So I didn't touch the pilot chute to come back to stop spinning.
Did you think you were doing it wrong or something like that?
Yeah, I was like, I'm doing something wrong, like, but I still knew I was kind of touching, but I didn't. Yeah. So, anyways, I just didn't fully touch it the way he wanted it to. and that's
So
why I failed.
not doing the motions 100% properly, which is
Yes.
good. That's why they.
Oh, for sure.
They
Yeah,
have a
Matt
good.
actually
So-
came down
That's
and
why they
him
have
and I
a-
had a conversation.
safety
We were
thing.
all like,
Oh, for
wow,
sure.
dude, I can't believe they're that big of sticklers about it. And then,
But it changed everything for me. Like,
Yeah.
it made me realize, like, hey, I'm doing something wrong. Like, I need to do it the right way.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
later we kind of learned to respect their decision of not allowing him to move
Yes.
forward because, like I stated earlier, they're not going to allow you just to slide by. They want you to do everything perfectly because if they're going to put their name on something to pass you, it means something. And
Right,
They
be-
want to
Oh,
make
for sure,
sure
yeah.
that you're 100% going to be
Yeah, because if
able to do the
somebody
task
somebody
by yourself.
dies, like it's not fun for anybody,
No,
not just the
correct.
person who doesn't
So
who
that's
dies.
the reason why we really
Yeah.
just like it really like drove home our decision of like, hey, we made the right decision on coming here because
Yeah.
they're
Oh, for sure.
they're serious about it.
Yeah,
they're
they're very
gonna make sure we
thorough.
have fun, but
Yeah.
they're gonna make sure that we know what the hell we're doing before they sign off. Like,
Yeah.
hey, good luck, don't
Yeah.
die.
And so in his situation, basically, he did his next jump just practicing that same thing.
I had to redo that
They'll
same
reiterate,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like you're getting punished. You just like
You
do
get
the
one
same.
fail.
Correct.
That's
You-
why there's 25. Technically, you only need 24 jumps to get your license.
Okay.
25 is like the wiggle room. to Where you
Right.
get that one, or you either get an extra fun jump or you get an extra just jump in general.
And when
Just
she
to
says fun
practice.
jump, that just means, hey, they're gonna give you a parachute and say, hey, let me
There's
check
a
you.
solo jump.
Make sure everything's
Yeah.
good, and then they're gonna send you up in the aircraft by yourself.
I love
And how you
solos.
pass those are
Yeah.
you come back
Yeah. I'm
alive.
still alive.
You
I'm
live.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was really awesome. You just really have to trust. Like, and I think all these people at Skydive Arizona, they're just people from like just the top-notch quality, like around the world. You know, like people come there to train. There's a lot of Red Bull athletes that this is their home drop zone. Like
Special
people from China,
forces.
special forces. So many people come to this drop zone, and the teachers are amazing. Like they have 20,000 jumps, some of them, like if not more. And that's just yeah. So you really put the trust into them, which is like I don't know. It just
Huge.
felt good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that landing can be one of like the hardest
That was the
parts about
sketchiest.
it.
So yeah, skydiving is actually
Yeah.
two separate sports. There's your free falling portion of it, where a lot of people they'll call them like tunnel rats, where they will really spend a lot of time and money into the tunnel to really learn how to manipulate the air and almost dance in the air with their bodies. It's really awesome. And then there's canopy flight. That's a whole different ballgame. It's something that I'm pretty sure all of us in one way or another struggle with
Yes.
currently.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Every jump we learn something new. We'll try something different with our canopy, see how it reacts, and kind of
Yeah.
just keep building off of that base. But yeah, I could definitely touch on some shitty landings for you guys if you would like.
Oh, could you?
Before we do that,
But first-
so
go ahead. I have one too for you.
yeah, because you, or actually you go ahead.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's going to dovetail into a lot of, it's going to spiral downhill to a lot of stuff.
Because I think you should
want me
go
to go
first.
first? Yeah.
Okay.
I think you should go first.
So when you're in the tunnel, that you guys like get 10 minutes in there, and when you're actually falling in the sky, it's like 1 minute, right?
45 seconds to 50 seconds of free fall.
Okay, so yeah, it's like all that work, if you want to call it, and you only get less than a minute of free falling.
So yeah, that's why the tunnel's a super awesome
I was gonna say
tool,
good
because
practice. Yeah.
when you skydive, you have to pack your parachute. You have to go through all these safety procedures to make sure everything's good. Then you have to get on an aircraft,
Wait
which
in line for that.
takes like 15,
Right, and
20
then you have to
minutes
wait
just
in
to get
line.
up to 13,500 feet.
Yeah.
Then you have to wait for everybody else in front of you to jump. Then you finally jump. You get 45 seconds to actually work on free fall stuff. Then you get approximately about 2 to 3 minutes of canopy flight that you get to work on different things. And then
And when you say canopy plate, that's when you actually pull it, and that's where you have to work on all your steering.
before-
correct,
and-
when you're actually underneath the canopy.
Yeah.
When you free fall at terminal velocity, you're anywhere between 130 to 140 miles an hour falling towards the earth. And then once you're underneath your canopy, you're about 25, 30 miles an hour under your canopy, depending on the size. So when you really put things in perspective, you take 45 seconds of your practice during free fall, and then 3 minutes of canopy flight. And when you're truly just landing, that all happens within a matter of 5 seconds.
Right.
So that's not a whole lot of time to work on things. So
Yeah.
the wind tunnel is great because you just hop in there and you can keep working on stuff for minutes at a time.
Yeah.
And you don't have to wait in line for an otter or the aircraft that takes you up. You don't have to do all the safety procedures, keep packing your parachute. So
Because you have to pay to get it packed, or you do it
Correct.
yourself, which takes time.
So 10 minutes in the wind tunnel is pretty much 10 jumps.
Yeah.
Worth of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like almost half the price.
Yeah.
Because it's like
absolutely.
almost $12 a minute.
compared
And-
to for a licensed skydiver $26 to jump.
Yeah. So it's like, which is actually a really good deal. I was so against it, but then I'm like, oh man, this actually makes sense. Like, because I want to work on a lot of stuff. It's like, yeah, this is actually cheaper and easier. And yeah. So
Well, when you start getting better too, you can just share the tunnel time with someone
Yeah,
else. You
different
just
block
split
time,
the
yeah.
money.
Right, because then you can work on those formations that people do with multiple people. Because
Oh,
if
yeah.
you mess it up and you're, less than 1 minute in the air, or one person isn't doing something right, it's like, well, you just got to go through that whole hour process to get up there again.
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Okay, so you guys ready for this?
Yes.
So after the 25 jumps, Anthony and I, on our 25th jump,
Oh my God, you would.
we made a deal that whoever would touch the ground first got their license first. And I'm just going to play a video for you.
Hold on.
here.
Before you play this, I waved
not
and
playing
pulled
it.
at 4,000. He waved and waited till 3,500 to pull his shoot.
Everyone just watch the video. It explains everything.
I'm getting my license first before Anthony!
Okay, and we're back.
So you normally pull at what altitude?
So Matt and I currently pull at 4,000 feet.
Yeah, 4,000. Yeah.
We can go to 3,500. That's pretty much the
Your
lowest.
maximum.
Yeah, we're gonna go, especially with our A license.
Pretty sketchy.
Because your second pack will pull itself if you drop below a certain.
That's like 700 feet though.
Okay,
It's
so that's
really
Yeah,
low. That is
depending
the
on
last
what you're
resort.
talking about. Is a
Yeah, you don't want to get to that.
Yeah,
point.
you're. So what it is, so it's a device called a Cypress, or there's a couple different other devices, but it's an AAD, automatic.
Automation.
No,
Automatic.
Automatic.
Fudge.
our instructors would be so disappointed in
I
us
know.
right now.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Automatic.
Activation device.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
What it does,
is.
what it
Nailed
does is
That's what we said.
it cuts your reserve closing loop, and your pilot chute is spring activated, and it will allow it to come out and open up. But you have to be extremely low, and that's pretty much like you're at your very bottom. So
Right.
900 to 700 feet, not a very good
Mm-hmm.
situation to ever be in. I'm pretty sure you're going to be in a lot of trouble if you did something negligent to get down there and it wasn't an emergency situation.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
your reserve is that backup parachute you have because you have your primary and
Yep.
then you have the.
Yeah, you have your main canopy, then you have your reserve that if you ever have to open, you'll definitely appreciate the individual that packed that, because we do not pack those. A master rigger that goes through years of like experience with skydiving, also a crazy amount of training to pack those. If you don't use your reserve within a 6-month period, you actually have to send your full rig in, which is your backpack, which is called the container, your main can, just everything goes in for inspection, and they unpack it and repack it for you.
Yeah, it's like a very rigorous process. And isn't there something, it's like you can't open the reserve, there's something that you break, so it's like if it's been tampered with, it's evidence.
Correct. So what it is a seal. It's a little red string and a piece of
Little metal.
Yeah, I think it's like not copper, like iron or
It's
something
like
like
an
that.
iron or something, just soft.
Yeah, and they have they have like a little pair of pliers with letters or numbers on them engraved on it. So when they squeeze, it's a piece of lead. They squeeze on the lead, it leaves their initials on it.
Okay.
And that's just to let everybody know, hey, this is been done by a master rigger. And there's also almost like a recording card that says when it was last
Like
repacked.
the full history of it.
Correct.
So you can
Yeah.
know.
You
Yeah.
always have to have that. If you ever go to a drop zone and check in and they go inspect your equipment and you don't have that, guess what? You're either paying $70 to have somebody on site do it, and they're going to charge you a little bit more to have a fast turnaround time, or you're just not going to jump, or you're going to have to rent.
Yeah.
I was really surprised at what a process it was to pack that. I didn't know that it was something like that, which, I mean, I guess that makes sense probably why. I don't feel like there's a lot of accidents. Like, people are pretty safe. Like, that backup needs to be like meticulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony, you should get into how it's very important to you.
Yeah, it is very, very important. Before we get into this, I just want to state for people that do not skydive, skydiving is actually crazy regulated, super safe. 2018 was actually recorded by USPA, the safest year of skydiving. So congratulations to all of you guys that are skydivers. Like that, these numbers are on you. You guys are being safe, having fun.
Yeah.
There was 3.1 million jumps recorded last year by licensed skydivers, and I believe some tandem skydivers too. I'm pretty sure that they counted towards those. And there was only a total, I believe, of 18 or 19 deaths out of 3.1 million. So if you actually crunch the numbers, you have a higher chance of being involved in a fatal car accident. I think the statistics are 1 in 6,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you guys driving to
kinda
work
safe.
on the I-10 here in Arizona have a higher chance of getting killed than us jumping out of an aircraft. So
Yeah,
how does that make you feel?
It's so funny because it's like those things that seem so scary. Like, even just flying in a regular plane, some people are like, oh, it's so scary. But, you know, just driving our car, it's proof that it doesn't, it's not like the thing that is actually statistically dangerous. It's the thing that we're not used to. Like, if we were all used to flying to work or skydiving every day like it was no big deal, then it would be no big deal.
Yeah.
And that's why driving is no big deal.
Yeah.
But if we were from the 1800s, we'd be like, what is this craziness or something?
Why would I jump out of this?
No, I mean, like, even getting in a car.
Oh, a car. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
but that's a good point, Anthony. I think that's important so people are not like
Yeah.
afraid of something when it's not a
yeah,
rational
you
fear.
guys, dude, go out and try it. I
Yeah,
promise
if
you.
you want to do it, it's
You will not regret it. I have personally taken
You've taken a lot of people.
Yeah, I've taken between me and my friends that jump quite often. I've taken over 40 people for their first tandems. After June 22nd, it will be a total of just 16 people from work that made their very first jump out of an aircraft, and then just other friends that were like, "Hey, man, like I see your posts on Facebook all the time about skydiving. Tell me a little bit about it. I would really like to try it." And they came and tried it out, and multiple people have either come back for a second or even third jump. And God, I think we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people now that have made their first jumps with me that are like, "Hey, I'm going to get my license." And Haley is actually in her process of finishing her AFF. She's on 15 out of 25 jumps. So
yeah. So you kept hanging out with these two and seeing how they were
Yeah, she kept
jumping,
coming
having fun, and then you were like, "I'm gonna do it."
No,
And-
I should have never gone. I hated my tandems, both of them. I don't know
Okay.
why I kept going. Hated them.
Uh-huh.
And then I went in that stupid tunnel. And
Explain.
that was it.
Hold on, Haley. Explain why you hated your tandems.
I don't want to ruin it for other people.
Haley didn't like
Were you
how the
sexually
leg
harassed?
straps
It
felt
hurt.
on her legs. That was it. The
People
whole
have been
other
sexually
experience
harassed.
was awesome for her.
Well,
First
I mean,
jump was good.
that's
Second
part of
jump
it.
sucks.
But I think that's good perspective. That's like, you loved the tunnel. He hated the tunnel. That was like, oh, should I even do this? You know, you hated your tandems. He was like, the tandems is the reason I want to do this. So, you know, just because someone's, you know, take every experience with a grain of salt.
Yeah. But I think ultimately, like when you get to jumping by yourself, that's like the best feeling. Like it's better than the tunnel. It's better than the tandems. Clear, like it's just
I
there's
can't
no
put
other
it into
feeling like
words.
Yeah, it's
like
so crazy to.
Everyone's always like, "Hey, describe skydiving," and it is like the hardest thing that I could ever try to like put into verbal perspective for people.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I feel like almost like I don't know. You're just like so like it's the most like thrilling yet peaceful experience. Kind of like it's like so much adrenaline is going, but like yet I'm just so like relaxed and like.
Yeah.
At peace or something, you know?
Well,
It's
yeah.
so crazy.
You
to,
experience so many emotions, like
Yeah.
coming up to the door and like flying up to 13,500 feet, and then it's like the weirdest thing. Like a switch gets like shut off as soon as you jump.
Yeah, as soon as you jump, it's just like
Oh, yes.
Like-
I'm not going to lie. It took me till jump 15 to realize that it's okay. You can jump out of this plane. You're going to be fine. Because every
Yeah.
other time I had to be all like, maybe I should ride the airplane down. I don't think I want to do this.
Don't
Oh my
do that.
God.
It is actually the scariest
Good for
thing
you
ever.
for jumping.
Every
Yeah.
time-
And you did
well,
that for
because I realized
15
I'm all like,
times.
A, I have a coach with me. B, I've done 4 solos already. I know how to do this.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
just, even if you get on your back, like I've been on my back like 4 times now, and you just arch and you do what your
Because
coaches tell
that's
you to.
almost like kind of scarier when you're on your back. You kind of lose control and you need to do a movement to come to the front. Is that what
Kind
you?
of. I mean, honestly, if you
Kinda.
were on your back and you just arched, it's gonna flip you over.
Okay, that
Yeah.
movement flips you.
Yeah.
like to your belly to a more like comfortable, stable
position.
sport for like beginners and stuff.
Mhm.
Haley,
I
talking
see.
about your jumps.
Yeah.
Would you say skydiving is more of like a male dominant sport? And like, how are women in the sport?
I don't think it's male dominant.
No?
Really?
There's just a lot of guys that do it, but
That's called male
there's a lot
dominant.
of girls that do it too.
I know.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of wish there was a girl in my class, but there wasn't. So
But statistically, it must be more males.
there is.
I think there's probably more males, but I like at our drop zone. I feel like I
There's
do see a lot of females.
girls. I mean, I just don't see a lot of girls like going through the classes like recently. Like, I feel like all these girls that I've seen have been doing it for years.
Okay, so it just by some chance the 10 people in your
girls
class.
are actually like super. I don't know,
Well,
a lot better
Girls
at
are
it.
better at like flowing.
girls
with it
are
because
better
even
at
when
everything.
I was in the class with all my guys, like how
True that.
just how a girl can arch is easier than how the boys do it already.
As
It's
Roberto
all
would
at the
say,
hip.
push the bush.
Yeah, push the
Say
bush.
that.
Roberto.
Why do you think
Roberto.
maybe it's not as many females who do it, or in your
It
perception?
is scary. I'm not gonna lie. I go up there, and every time I'm in the plane, I'm all like, "Why are you doing?" The first time I let go of the plane, I had 2 coaches attached to me, and I was like, "I am so fucked right now."
Yeah.
And
Her-
it was literally.
Tell them about your.
No, go for it. You love
So
saying it.
whenever you go through your AFF course, they'll have the coaches go out first in your stage 1, and they'll spot for you. Then they'll call you
They're
out.
holding on to you like you're not going anywhere.
Yeah,
You're
they're sticking their
telling them when
hands
you're jumping in that
in your leg strap, and
Yes.
they're grabbing onto you, and you are not leaving them.
So for your first, like maybe 5 solo jumps,
Just first
you
one.
are just
No,
your
only
first,
your first
just your
one.
first. There's somebody still hanging on to your
And the
coach.
next
Test.
2, there's only 1 person.
But they're
Okay.
still hanging on to you. They will not let go of you
Unless they
until
think you
they
can
feel
handle it.
confident with your
Yeah.
body positioning, so you don't
Yeah.
become unstable. in
And
the
they will
air.
they can return back to you in
Yes.
the air because you can travel through
Yeah,
air.
you're not gonna lose
And they
them.
can come in contact with you
They're not
for them
gonna
to
lose
help
you.
you.
Yeah, we actually had a kid in our class not do what he was told to do.
Oh yeah, that guy
And-
was nuts.
Yeah,
Psycho.
we will
Yeah.
keep the name quiet,
I
but
don't even know his name.
he literally
Yeah.
just jumped out and did not one thing right. And
There was
he
something. He was kind of. There's something special about him. Like when we were in like the school, and like he was like, we ran through everything. Like okay, like you jump out of the plane, you arch, you like look at your altimeter, horizon, instructor,
And your altimeter is just the thing that tells you the altitude.
altitude.
Correct.
So you know when to pull your
And-
parachute.
Yeah, and this guy was just so spacey. Like he's like, okay, look at your altimeter, and he would just go like,
he would just smile
Oh my god.
or
And it's like, no,
try to smile,
and the
but
instructor's like, no, look,
and and nothing would click in his head. And we
Yeah.
were all looking at each other like, I kind of don't want to be in the air with this guy because that's really dangerous.
And
so
he was the last one to jump.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they had him jump, and he just spun out of control. They grabbed him. They got control of him. And he's literally like the worst case scenario that somebody could ever be in the air. And he safely landed. The coaches you will not lose the coaches at all.
Yeah.
And they will have the ability to gain control of your body.
So
flip
they
you
like
over.
pulled his parachute for him.
Oh, they
Correct.
had
Oh,
to.
for sure, yeah.
They had to because
And the
Well,
ground
he
wasn't
literally
he on
froze.
his back when they pulled
Because
too?
even when
No,
you...
they got to him
They
when he
did
was
flip
on
him
his
over?
back, and they flipped him over
Yeah.
to
like
make a
roughly
safe
and
pull.
abruptly. I think they
was
they
Roberto.
yanked him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was a
Oh,
scary
he
thing
was
for the instructor.
pissed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because nobody
it's
wants
his life,
anyone
too.
to get hurt.
He doesn't want him to
Obviously.
die,
Exactly.
and also like I mean, because Anthony has a thing with this too, or had something like this happen. But like the instructor can't pull until you pull, right?
Correct. So it's a safety thing. Is they make sure that your canopy has been deployed, you're safely under it, and then they're going to fall for a few seconds longer. And the reason being is they want to get on the ground before you because you have a radio on your chest. So as soon as they land, they will then look for you in the air, and they will start calling out to you over the radio, telling you to flare, where you pull down on both toggles, which allows you almost to do like an air brake. And it's very easy to spot from the
kick or
ground.
anything,
Yeah,
some
just to
sort of
identify who
signal.
you are, because it's kind of hard to make out faces when you're thousands of feet up in the air still.
And you're wearing a mask or a helmet.
And then
almost.
they tell you exactly what you need to do, guide you into your landing.
Yeah. Very
Okay.
helpful.
So
for the
yeah,
first.
there's no communication. Or do you guys have like radio earpieces?
So that's only the first 7 jumps.
First
You have
7.
radio.
Okay, so
Yeah.
even when you're flying through the sky, and obviously it's way too loud, but
That's all
because
hand
it's
signals.
oh, okay,
Correct.
so your earpieces are not going to start working until it's quieter
not
and
even
you're
So
close.
yeah,
It's a radio on
it's
your
just
chest.
It's
almost
just
like a
the radio.
walkie-talkie on your
Walkie-talkie.
chest.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like in the air, it's just all signals, and then
But they
will guide
teach you what to do in the case that the radio doesn't work. Everything that they teach us before we ever get to the air is
You should
pretty
be able
much
to-
if everything fails, like the radio fails,
Yeah.
or some force of weird nature gets your instructor away from you,
Yeah.
you know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
If you find yourself by yourself,
All you
like
do is
completely
pull.
alone, yeah, you
That's
just
it.
Yeah, or
pull.
just pull,
All you
yeah.
do is pull.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're safe. You know exactly what to do. But in the case that everything's working perfectly, they're just gonna guide you in. You're gonna have pretty much a nice, fun flight.
Well, they
Yeah.
don't even want to tell you what to do. Like they
That's the whole
honestly
goal,
won't
yeah.
say anything
Yeah.
unless they say, "Hey, you're looking good. Maybe try this a little bit. Okay, do this. All right, do that."
That's
Like by your 3rd or 4th walkie-talkie, half the time they don't even say anything.
they'll actually ask you, "Hey, kick your feet if you don't want us to tell you what to do."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you feel confident, go ahead and kick your feet, and they'll literally just be like, "All right, you got this," and they'll just sit there and watch you land. And once you land, they'll debrief you on what you did right, what you did wrong, what you need to work on, etc. Matt pulled up something interesting based off of my comment earlier to Haley
I didn't
about
realize it was that low.
skydiving being a male-dominant sport. Males definitely dominate the sport by 87%, and there's only 13% of females in the sport currently. So girls,
2019.
grab your magic backpack and come join us in the sky, because Haley needs some friends.
I think all 13% is like at Skydive Arizona.
For real,
It's
Yeah.
like there's so many I see that
Yeah,
are there.
I feel like I've seen a lot too when I come and visit you
Exactly.
guys.
That's why how would I know? Like for only being in Eloy, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of girls, and it could be. I mean, it's not 50-50, but a majority of them are. Half the coaches are girls.
Yeah.
Like
All the girls I've ever seen skydive, they're just
fucking
fucking
badasses.
They're badass
kill it.
chicks, yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're like-
Even the girls that are like in their first like stages of AFF coursing, like they're more stable in their videos when they're in the wind tunnel. They're so much more flexible, way more stable. Guys, we really struggle on this. We need to start picking up some yoga or some shit. Put down
Something.
the weights.
Well, even my
Yeah,
first jump, I
something.
got so lucky. I got 2 girl instructors, so it was literally an entire girl jump. It was so sick.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It
And
was
they were
funny.
Like half like my height and everything, but we all just it was perfect.
Haley
great.
got put up on the board with a male instructor for her first jump, and a couple of the girls went into the office, and then they came out and erased the board and put 2 female instructors with her. So I really feel like that's why I was asking Haley, like, what do you think about the females that are skydiving? I feel like they
They're
really stick
awesome.
together and really help each other like progress and
like you said, it's
improve.
a community.
Yeah, it really is. Like we're all
Skydivers.
there to help each other. I have had my rig had things not completely correct with it getting into an aircraft, and complete strangers will come up to me. It's a rule, like do not touch anybody's like stuff without informing them or asking their permission.
Yeah.
Because those things that are attached to us, those are what's going to save our life. So we're very protective over those. But they'll come up like, hey, like I see this is going on. Like I had a pilot shoot like halfway out from sitting down and moving around so much. And if I would have jumped, it would have caught air and deployed. And that would have been a very bad situation for me.
Yeah.
A complete stranger came up, grabbed me when I was walking towards the door and told me to hold on and stuffed it in and then checked it, make sure it was okay.
Yeah.
And then gave me the thumbs up. And I've had another time where my reserve flap was open. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I think I just bumped it just walking into somebody.
Yeah.
And they fixed it for me. So the cool thing about this community is none of us know each other, but we all have like the love for the same sport.
Yeah.
And we
Everybody
all
like
really,
has each other's back.
Yeah. We all look out for each other because we all want everybody to have a safe, fun flight.
Like right before we, like when you jump out of the plane, everybody like fist bumps, gives like a
yeah,
high
I
five.
love
Like
it.
so
It's
you're
so
strangers,
sweet.
like everybody's high fiving
They just
everybody.
look at you, they smile, and I'm just like,
You guys are all high on life.
Yeah, like we're all nervous. Like you can
Yeah.
have like 20,000 jumps, and everybody. I've asked people with 25,000 plus jumps, and hey man, you still get nervous from this? And they're like, kinda not as much, but I still get the jitters right before I leave. And the day that I don't get those jitters is probably gonna be the day I quit.
I was going to say, that's what you do it
Yeah.
for, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're jumping out of an aircraft, you're jumping out of an aircraft. People. Like it's fucking scary. Like this is not normal.
yep.
And
Yeah.
if you're bored from that, you need to find something else.
What else?
What else
you
would there
try,
be?
though? Like,
I have no idea. My
the
grandmother
next step?
asked me the same thing. Matt's known me since racing motorcycles, and then I progressed into jumping out of airplanes with him. And
Yeah.
we're kind of like, what do we do after this? I was like, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tennis.
So we're already at 40 minutes, but let me see if I can recap all the things that have gone wrong with
Oh,
you,
shit.
Anthony. 'Cause
Oh, you need to go into
Matt
that.
has
yeah.
told me stories. So the biggest one is that your main chute did not pull, so you had to pull your reserve, and this is when you were still within your 25 jumps of school. So you had to deal with that.
So it opened both times. Jump 7, I checked it. Everything was good. And I started pulling 360s, and somehow my lines broke. And the canopy was still stable, so I went ahead and landed it. And I was instructed, don't do that again, because I had like 5 lines that had broken.
Okay.
And then my jump 15, on open, I had multiple lines break. And I then decided, hey, I'm not supposed to land something like this, so I did a cutaway.
You cut away
your main
the bad
chute.
parachute, and then you were like, hey, hopefully my reserve goes off because this is my only other parachute.
Correct. So we've only practiced this, and we've always just talked about like, oh man, this is gonna be crazy if this ever happens to us. And that time had come for me, and
That's your life. Your life was just like there.
Like, this is it. Like, it either opens
It honestly
or this
was
is
like, I wish I could sit here and be like super macho and be like, I wasn't scared. No, I was shitting my pants. I looked up, the lines were just like flapping in the wind behind my canopy. I remembered everything the instructors had said, like, hey, I've had friends pass away because of a situation similar to this. So I immediately went into my emergency procedures, and I did a cutaway, and then I did my reserve pull. And everybody on the ground said it happened really fast. I'm pretty sure Matt actually...
I saw the whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
Matt-
I saw you like fly by me. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, when I opened, like I was still falling like crazy, and I remembered seeing something in the air zoom past me, but I didn't know it was my friend.
It was me.
Thanks, Matt, for catching me. I appreciate that, Dick. And
I tried to catch your chute.
yeah, and then I was just like, God, like I this is a bad situation. I gotta get out of here. So I did the cutaway, pulled the reserve. Everybody said it happened so quickly. Bullshit. When your body's super jacked up on adrenaline, seconds become minutes. I had full-on conversations with myself in my head, and
because this is all happening in less than 50 seconds.
probably less than
altitude were you at?
Oh, no,
3,000 feet.
Yeah. So like when you cut away your main, And then your reserve gets pulled. It's probably maybe 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's supposed to happen really fast. Apparently it did, but to me, it probably took like a 2-minute.
Because like
process.
That's like in his mind. It's like, hey, like if this does not work, I'm going to die.
And you have so
like
many
that
thoughts
life.
going through you. That's probably like, that typically would take me 2 minutes to think about all that.
Yeah,
But
I looked
it's
at my
like-
left hand. I saw because I was like, oh my god, nothing's happening. Like the reserve's not out, and I started looking at my left hand because I was like, oh my god, I didn't pull my reserve, and I saw my reserve handle in my hand, and the cable was flapping in the air very slowly, and I was like, okay, I pulled it. It's not out.
Well,
it's
wait,
just not
you
working.
pulled your reserve and it didn't go right away?
No, so
It
all
was.
this
It seemed
happened,
like
but my
forever.
body slowed stuff down
I
so much
see.
that I thought like, oh, it really just didn't work. And I sat there and kept. I was looking at a cloud in the sky because my chest was pointed towards the sky at this point. My back was towards the earth, and I just kept telling myself to keep looking at this cloud, and that was going to be
Oh my
the
God.
end of it.
Chills.
And then legit like.
Yeah.
A second later, like
My
a
nipples are
big
hard from that.
yellow
That was like, not in a
canopy.
sexual way, but like, whoa, that's like freaky
they are.
shit. Like,
That is a fact.
just to like think about like, okay, I think this is where I die.
Yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
It's definitely
Fuck.
lots of process. Literally the yellow canopy had opened up above my head, and I started screaming like as loud as I actually hurt my voice. Like I had a rough voice for a little bit. I grabbed the toggle, started checking it, and the reserve was perfect. Thank you, John, so much. Legit, I wouldn't even be here making an ass of myself without John packing my reserve. John at Skydive Arizona is the only person that will ever pack my reserve from this point forward.
Shout out, John.
Yeah,
Shout
for
out John
sure.
Lyman.
But I turned my reserve, and I was looking for my main, and I saw it flap in the air. And I'm sorry for all of you Virginaires, but I was like, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, you piece of shit. I cussed that thing out so much. I was like, all right, back to landing. And I landed, and me and
I
Matt,
just gave him
like,
a big hug.
yeah,
I was
ran
like,
over to
oh.
each other. And I was like, bro, did you see that? And he goes, yeah, you giant missile. Like, I flew past him so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you fly fast. You fly very fucking
That's
fast.
so crazy.
But yeah, I was like, I'm done for the day. I don't want to jump anymore. Like, that fucking scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, you need a little
That was a
time.
reality check, and they're like, absolutely not. My instructors told me to get my ass back over and grab another rig, go back up. The reason being is the mind is like a funny thing. You can literally
sure is.
freak yourself out, and the longer you have to think about stuff, you're just gonna talk yourself out of doing shit that
that
you
is
love.
actually so true.
So-
When you did the cliff jump in we were like Philippines.
It's for anything.
Side note.
Yeah. The more time you
just
spend
your mind
thinking
talks
about
about it. It was like a 5 foot
Yeah.
rock, and just her mind talked her out of it.
So
That's interesting that they
I
were
went
like,
back up
"No,
to
go
go, and long story short, I wasn't able to jump because the winds were too strong, and I had to wait till the following day. But after my first jump the following day, I remembered like exactly why I started this in the first place. I
now
absolutely
was
love this.
that jump after that last one where
Mm-hmm.
you had to cut away? Was that like, I don't really want to do this, I don't like it,
No,
or
not-
you were like, no, I'm feeling okay, like it's all good? That
Going
was,
up to the door, I literally told myself, "Hey, my canopy's not going to open." That's something I actually tell myself now before every jump. So
Right.
I'm not.
To be prepared. I
Yeah,
guess.
I'm not surprised if something goes wrong. That way
Yeah.
I can handle the situation and be calm about it.
yes,
But yeah, I jumped, landed, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, this is why I love this sport," and I just still do today. Me and Matt.
I was so proud of you, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Just like having that near death experience and still like getting back and doing it. I was proud of you, man.
That's-
That was
yeah,
cool.
something to be
still
really
do
proud
it
of.
Again,
Well, and that's like the thing, like when we all rode motorcycles, like you knew not to say this is my last time out, because half the time if you say this is
Yeah.
my last time out riding, you crashed. That happened to me twice.
Yeah.
I just said I don't want to ride anymore. I guess I'll go this one more time. I crashed. Every time
It's
I've
like you
said-
attract that,
Every
yeah.
time I've
Yeah.
said I don't want to jump anymore, Anthony or Matt or my coach is all like, "Get your ass back up there." And the jump is better than the last one, but it's all like, it's weird how this is a completely different sport when it comes to that.
mm-hmm.
Like it's the same.
yeah.
yes, yeah. Everything is pretty
Same,
much
same,
the
but
same,
different. Same,
right?
same.
Same but different.
So, other than that, I mean, we can't go into every story, but I love that you told that one like in detail. That was really cool. But you got caught in a dust storm, right?
A dust devil.
A dust devil,
You
yeah.
got
Which is
caught in a
also
dust devil.
It's fucking terrifying.
Right, because you're being spun and now you can't, like, now things can get tangled. It's hard to land.
Yeah,
like,
that happened so ungodly fast. We all knew about those dangers.
He literally questioned his coach the day before he got
Yeah,
stuck in
because
one of these.
okay, so Arizona, we get hotter. Dust devils and thermals are more prone in the area. I just wanted to know exactly what to do in case I came into contact with one, because I wasn't 100% like comfortable with the situation. He explained it. I honestly didn't even see it coming. I was about like 10 to 12 feet off the ground, and I was coming in for my landing to start my flare process, which is your landing process.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I was vertical with my canopy and went into a straight dive into the ground and slammed and knocked the wind out of myself. I was like, what just happened? I turned around, and there was about a 15-foot dust devil behind me that was spinning on the grass prior to me coming, and it didn't kick up any debris until it hit the dirt. So I just didn't see it and got clipped, and I've learned now in the summer times I jump until about 11 a.m. and I call it a day. And that's so I can jump
the weather,
tomorrow.
and that's another good point too. The weather is very, the
We
sport is very
are-
dependent on the weather.
Yeah, we are
Yes.
the
Yeah.
weather's bitches.
Because you guys will be
Yeah.
waiting all day to jump, and then it's like waiting for weather, wind. We're waiting, and it's been 3 hours, and actually no one's jumping.
Yeah,
today.
make sure you go into the sport liking the person next to you so you can enjoy a good conversation, because the weather can keep you talking
Oh,
a
for
lot.
sure,
yeah.
And if you hate the person next to you, you're going to hate life.
And then what else? You landed that, so you like hit yourself, but you didn't get a major injury. You didn't break
Yeah, no,
anything.
I
But-
called it a day, woke up the following day, went back up. Same thing. This is why I love this sport. I learned, though, polarized glasses will actually spot dust devils a lot easier than the naked eye. So I was actually against jumping with glasses because I found it as more of a distraction and just one more thing that could go wrong if like they came loose in your helmet or something. So I never jumped with them until that day, and now I do not make a jump without them.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good
Um,
insight.
that's really helpful.
And then
actually.
Haley, one of the times that you jumped and landed, like you somehow.
One of the times. I've
Lost-
got like a handful.
But there was I saw that you like.
Oh yeah,
Did you get a concussion through your ass?
Yeah,
you,
that was
I
it,
have
yeah.
bounced straight tailbone at least 5
yeah,
times.
you landed directly on your bottom,
Like
on
from,
your
like, probably
on your
7-8
sit
feet.
bone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty high. It's terrible.
Yeah, 7-8 feet. Like that's still a lot
My
just to like
tailbone
drop.
still hurts, and I haven't landed on my butt in over a week and a half. So.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So, you didn't break anything, you know, right?
I don't think
you're clearly
so.
still walking, so I'm sure your spine is
I think
fine.
I'm okay.
But yeah, I just think it makes the point that lots of things can happen. Was there anything else major that happened to you?
So
a lot of things.
I mean, I know
think,
we don't have time to go over
No,
everything.
I'll sum up 2 of them. Yeah,
I hit a tree. I lost my shoe.
There's been a lot of like little things.
yeah.
like-
And Matt and I a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago jumped, and I was renting an altimeter, which the Velcro was not very good at all. So instantly, as soon as we jumped out of the aircraft, the Velcro had ripped, and it was flapping above my wrist, and it was only being held on by my ring finger. I was like, what the hell is tickling me? So I looked over and I squeezed my fist immediately, realizing, oh my God, that's my altimeter.
Yeah.
Matt and I were docking, and Matt comes up and goes, oh shit.
What's
And, like,
docking?
he and
It's like holding
he like
hands.
with
Okay.
his lips were just like, should we pull?
Yeah.
Are you okay? And I was all like, fuck
He
it,
just,
we're
like,
good.
Slams it down, looks at it, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. I guess
Yeah,
we're doing it.
I grabbed it, looked at the altitude,
yeah.
gave him a thumbs up. We just continued our dive flow. We landed. He goes, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, dude, I'm so happy you saw it. Nobody would ever believe me.
Yeah. So fucking funny because you need that to see like when you're supposed to pull.
Yeah.
Like, you can fall for a while, but like yeah, it's
Yeah.
your lifeline just to know when you're supposed to pull at a certain time. Like,
Because you fall so fast.
Yeah.
you look at the ground. Also, like looking at the ground is really fucking scary, dude. Like
Yeah.
it comes up so fast.
I told Matt during our AFF, bro, I looked at the ground. Don't fucking do that. Matt came down
yeah,
from
I'm-
his next jump, goes, dude, I looked at the ground. You're right. I was like, why did you do it?
Yeah, because when you see videos of people where I guess you can see like the horizon,
Yeah.
it looks like you're floating.
Exactly, you feel
but you
floating.
are falling
People-
so fast.
Yeah.
Like Buzz Lightyear used to say on Toy Story, and Woody would argue, you're not flying. You're falling with style.
That's
That's exactly.
Yeah.
It. It's
I
fucking
love that you
scary.
referenced that.
Yeah. Shout out Buzz.
Yeah.
Shout out Toy Story.
Woody, my man, you were right.
Oh,
It is
that's
with
so-
style.
Yeah. Dude, but it is very scary. It just comes up so fast. So you need to see your altimeter to know when to pull at that safe altitude.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's why those what are they called? What did we just buy?
Altimeters? Oh, audibles.
Oh, the
Those
audibles.
are
They
crazy
scream in your ear
amazing.
and say, "Hey, idiot,
They
pull."
just beep.
yeah, it's just a thing in your helmet, and it'll just beep. Instead of you having a look at something, you can just
God, I have a
It'll
feeling
beep.
the first
Do
time
not
I use mine,
nice.
I'm gonna forget
rely
what it is. Like,
on the
what
beep.
is this?
yeah.
Like,
You
look
shouldn't.
right
Yeah,
away.
you're right. You should not rely
Never
on it.
rely on the beep.
But it's really nice to have as an extra. Haley lost a shoe.
Yeah, we were talking about
Right
that.
out of the aircraft,
Yeah.
jumped the shoe, like took off like
God,
it
and
was.
I knew it was gonna happen too, and I just didn't think to retie my shoe.
Oh
That
my God.
sucked.
Matt, what the hell have you had go
I
wrong,
had,
bro?
I've had like
I think I've
amazing
kicked you in the
landings.
ass once.
Yeah, it must be nice,
Yeah.
dude.
I
Landed
don't
on
think
my feet once out of 15.
Yeah.
Jump 25, Matt jumped out. I think this is the only time Matt truly had like a weird situation where we were trying to jump together. We're not supposed to. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah.
Jump 25 AFF. Matt jumped out, and I told myself, hey, give him a little space so I don't run right into him. We're amateurs, have no idea what the fuck we're doing. And I was like 1/1000. I jumped after him. He disappeared into
much
the
time.
earth.
That's too late. Yeah.
Could not even make out where he was anymore. And I went into a complete tracking position.
Where you're
And-
just like really shooting down.
Yeah.
Oh, he was going
You are
incredibly
going
fast.
straight
Yeah,
down.
head first.
Yeah.
Like I had never gone head down like that before in my life,
Yeah.
and I was telling myself like, "Holy shit, I am scared." And I saw my friend, and he was looking up for me, and I literally saw him smile. I was like, "I see you, Matt. What did you see?"
I just saw a fucking silver bullet just fly right past me.
I opened up, tried to slow down. He was like 700 yards away from me. We were waving at each other.
Yeah.
Looked at our altimeters.
I was just
We're-
happy to see you.
We're at like 6,000 feet. I was like, hey, man, we're not going to be able to slap hands. So let's go the opposite direction and track away and pull.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was God, dude, you haven't done shit wrong, really.
Yeah.
No.
'cause I paid
Skyvan. I told this idiot to jump.
Oh yeah.
He,
I was.
he stayed on the aircraft. I jumped.
It was like hanging off the bar, and we like did our count of like 1, 2, 3, go, and I was supposed to let go, but I didn't let go, and Anthony just grabs on and slides all the way down.
I like was on my back,
There he goes. I need to
looking
go.
up towards him, like, what the fuck are you doing? Come
Yeah.
with me.
It's like, oh, okay, I gotta let go.
So it sounds like there's a lot of cool stories, and it's really
Oh,
neat
for sure,
to
yeah.
hear like about all of your experiences with it and how unique it is and all this stuff. So what would be one of your like things to tell somebody, or if you could tell one thing to somebody who hasn't skydived or who maybe is interested in getting their license? What would that be that we haven't talked about already?
God,
Any takeaway?
I
Main takeaway.
could not imagine my life without jumping. Now that I have done it,
Uh-huh.
If you're somebody
Shut up, Haley.
that was just
We're on
like,
the
hey,
podcast.
I want to try new things, for the love of God, go do a tandem. Come see life from our eyes. Like, I cannot put it into words. The experience, the emotions that we experienced before leaving that door.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the most amazing things I've ever accomplished, and I honestly can't imagine going further in my life without doing this.
Uh-huh.
You just can't let fear overcome you. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how many times I went up in that plane and I was all like, I do not want to do this. And literally, I felt like my leg was betraying me every time my leg stuck out. Like, I was about to jump out of the plane. And every time I let go, I was all like, okay, this is why I'm doing this.
I think
like,
it's safe to say none of us are fearless. It's just learning how to control your fear and push it aside.
That's
Keep it
very
there.
interesting.
Know that
Absolutely.
it's there. Utilize it, because fear heightens your senses and allows you to think and react faster than
Keeps you
usual.
aware.
And
yeah.
if there wasn't any fear, wouldn't it be fun? Like, you're doing it
Correct.
for this insane thrill.
Yeah, people.
Oh, yeah, no, this isn't just casual. Like,
Yeah,
I
no.
don't just jump out of an airplane.
Like, this is kind of fun. Like, this is like
this is an adrenaline
crazy.
rush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are
I'm
always
not
like,
gonna lie,
"Wow, you
like-
guys are fearless." Like, no, we are all scared.
Yeah.
I actually have a fear of heights. I tried to do Angel's Landing, and I only made it about 150 yards away from the very top of it, and before I froze.
which is just a hike. Where
Yeah,
you
it's
hike
just
to the top of like
it's just a
peak.
regular hike. I
For sure.
I get the churning stomach feeling if I look over a bridge. I get the leg shakes on
That
a
is
hike.
too funny, Anthony.
But
That's very
it's-
interesting.
It's weird. Skydiving doesn't give me that.
I think because you don't have like that depth perception of
Yeah.
like, when you're out of the plane, like you look down, you just kind of see like just ground.
Yeah.
You can't really tell like, oh, hey, I'm 13,000 feet up. It doesn't really register.
Oh yeah, but I
Some
don't
of
get
the-
scared until I pull my canopy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
the
that's still pretty
canopy
fucking
flying
crazy.
is hands down the scariest part. Like the
Just
free
steering
falling
it.
is so fun
Yeah.
because you're just falling.
It's
The whole thing is if your canopy doesn't work, that's your life or death. Like
yes.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny too because some of the
I hate
actual
watching
like
my
factory
canopy
sponsored skydivers and base jumpers and wingsuiters that I've actually had the pleasure of meeting at Skydive Arizona, they have even divulged to me that, dude, I have a huge fear of heights, and this is their life. This is their job. This is their income, is to jump out of planes, off of
considered the
cliffs.
expert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just funny that I found out that I was not the only one jumping out of a plane with a fear of heights. So yeah, if you think you're afraid of heights, like push that shit aside, dude.
I think
jump.
that's like really like that's something you can literally take to anything. Like people who maybe work out at the gym and people are like, how do you get motivated, or how do you like bring yourself to do this every day or whatever? And they're like, I have the same feelings about it that you do. I have days where I don't want to go, yada yada, but I just power through it. And
you
that's
just gotta
the
do
difference.
it.
It's got to do it.
Literally.
Yeah. So that's
You put your
really
suit
cool.
on, you get in the plane, and the only way you're coming out is jumping out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't just be all like, oh, I think I want to write it down. Like if you're a student, it's a different story. But if you got your own shit and you get up in the plane and you're like, I'm not feeling it. Like, no, get your ass out of the plane, jump out.
Haley didn't want to jump after her second jump through AF, of course, because she had a shit landing.
Oh, it hurts
And
so
she
bad.
was super discouraged. Like I walked
Yeah.
over and I
It
was like,
hurt.
"Hey, are
Like,
you
I was
okay?"
tearing up
This
Yeah,
is when she
she-
landed on her
she-
sit bone from
Yes.
AP.
Yeah, she actually had like a
Oh,
tear running
yeah.
down her cheek, and I
She
was all
probably
like,
got a concussion.
"Hey,
It's
are you
injury.
okay?"
Yeah.
And she's like, I just don't know if I'm really cut out for this anymore. And like, just super discouraged. And I was like, hey, you do what you need to do. I'm not going to sit here and try to pressure you into something you don't want to do. The girl power came over, was like, no, get your ass back up on that aircraft.
I love
and
that.
she landed following jump, and she came down. I literally have a video of her screaming and jumping up and down like a freaking 3-year-old. Like,
I almost landed on my feet.
she was so happy, and she was like,
still
I am
good.
so happy I ended the day on this note and instead of the other one, because I probably wouldn't have came back.
Yeah.
So just because you have anything shitty go on in your life, don't ever sit there and let it discourage you. Push through it. Try it again. Your outcome from the next attempt is probably going to be way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also cool to be like to have the people around you too that like help you
Oh,
like
yeah.
to do that, you know, to help
Well,
you push past that.
that's
Just like
why
that good peer group, you know.
Oh, exactly. And that's why I'm pissed at the last jump I had. I landed on my feet, and the only person that saw was my dad, and he wasn't even recording.
Hey, I never even
So-
asked you, how was your landing with one shoe?
Oh,
Yeah.
and I was so nervous. I was like, Haley, you
This is
can't
gonna
land
hurt.
worth shit. You're going to break your ankle. Like, no. So I'm landing. My foot feels great because it's just blowing in the wind. And I was all like...
when you lost one shoe.
Yeah.
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 So I'm like coming in. I mean, I slid into it, but it didn't hurt. I think I PLF'd, honestly, because I wasn't even trying.
Thank
to
God
do
you had a
anything.
PLF. Good
What's a
PLF
PLF?
instructor.
Good PLF.
Oh, yeah. Explain
Anthony-
PLF, Haley.
Really quickly.
You guys can both explain that. You guys are both really fucking good
Yo,
at
he's
that.
the PLF king, and I've finally
All
finalized.
right. So this is how many shitty landings I've
Just
had.
tell me what it stands for.
PLF is like parachute landing. I call it parachute landing fail. Or
Oh, okay.
Parachute
I got
failed
you.
landing.
I got you.
PLF is pretty much you learn to.
It's a tuck and roll, pretty much.
Yeah, you're coming in for a hard landing. Shit didn't happen the way you wanted it to. And this is the way to minimize an injury on your
Yeah.
body.
Parachute landing fall.
Yeah.
PLF.
And I had so many bad landings, I actually perfected this. And
Yeah, and he was luckily in the area that
I was-
when I was doing ground school, my coach was all like, "Oh, Anthony should."
I was
show us how
I was
to do
watching
this."
my other friend
And I just
skydive.
yelled at him. I
And
was like,
I'm
"Get
sitting
your
there
ass
minding my
over
own
here."
business, and they're like, "Anthony, come here." And so I walk over to this school of noobs, and
Excuse you.
they're all like, "Hey, show us a PLF." And I laughed. I was like, "Oh wait, you fucking serious?" He's like, "Yeah, you have more of them than anybody
Sammy didn't
here."
want to do it.
So yeah, I showed him, and Haley took nothing away from that class.
Nothing. It hurt so bad.
She liked to ass bomb the earth.
The only time I actually got the PLF
Ass
is
concussions.
when my coach literally put me on like a few feet off the ground and told me to jump off and then PLF. And I did it. That's how I landed my last jump, and I got stuck in a tree. But I didn't land in the tree, so it was great.
You guys are amazing, all three of you, for doing this thing. I think we looked up the statistics, and it's less than 0.00001% of the population are skydivers.
0.00005% of the population.
Yeah. There's like 7.7 billion people, less than like 40,000
So you're telling me we're
skydivers.
kind of a big deal.
You guys are a very big deal, and you're all in one room. So
Or
that
we're a group of small nuts, however you want to look at it. Just a squirrel trying to get a nut.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
thank you so much for sharing all that. That was really cool to
Thank you
hear
for
all
having
that.
us.
That was awesome.
Anything
Yeah.
else you want to say since you're a skydiver too?
Yeah, I just kind of what Anthony and Haley said earlier, just to kind of get out and just, whether it be skydiving or not skydiving, but just to like get out and try something new. I guess like you can really never know like how perfect something can be, like how much you love it, and you know, to really fully immerse yourself into that. You know, like we're all doing this all the time. We're staying there and just really falling in love with it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just such a cool feeling to do. And yeah, I mean, I would say skydive. So anyway, yeah, I would say try it to anybody. I recommend it to anybody.
My roommate Ben did his first tandem with me, and he's actually present with us today. And I just want to say congratulations.
Yeah.
He's actually committed to taking the plunge and joining our little small community.
Yeah,
and get licensed.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the biggest fucking skydiver ever, dude.
Literally, you were very tall as well.
Yeah. I will no longer be the meat missile
Yeah.
in this community. Thank God.
He practically jumped by himself because his coach was this cute little 5 foot
God,
girl.
she was so tiny. I
really?
can't remember who it was.
Jazzy, he jumped with Jazzy.
Oh, really? Wow, yeah, she's tiny.
Yeah,
Wow.
so-
Only girl tandem instructor.
Wow.
For those of you that are listening, Ben is like 190 pounds and he's 6'5".
Pure
He's
muscle.
very tall, good looking man. And yeah, she put him on his knee and was like, on the aircraft, was like, "Hey, are you ready?" And he didn't respond. He just jumped and
out.
he screamed, "Wee!" Like, "Wee!" And he was gone. And I was like, "What the
She
fuck?"
was
Who
she was
that?
along for the ride.
Oh yeah.
It was Ben gave her the ride.
I heard him say "we" and her say "wait."
But yeah, I
That's
highly
awesome.
recommend to anybody. I mean, it just yeah, it's such like a thrilling, peaceful experience. It's just I don't know, it's just fucking amazing
It
for
is
anybody and anybody to try and do it. So yeah.
All right. That's awesome. Go skydive.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here. You guys are fucking great.
Thank you. You
Yeah.
guys are so awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We'll see
right.
you in the air.
Yeah, see you in there.
Bye.
I'll see you on the ground.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.